Mom, do you really want me to go? What happened? Oh my god!
Alright, we can get the audio, so don't worry. No. Don't.
Yeah, exactly. Hey guys, good evening. Welcome to another episode of the Lofi Evening Podcast. On the evenings when people come to tell their stories and where stories are being told. Yes, today is episode 6 and am I looking to the distance because I am totally, I don't know, sometimes my mind get led astray sometimes. But anyway, today we have a guest in our midst. But before we get to that, I'd like to say, I think if you want to know more about us, especially, we already have a podcast that we had at Empowerment Fest 2023. And so please do check that out. We talk about inclusivity, and also we talked about a lot of various issues relating to the PWDs, that is persons with disability. So please do check out our podcast, our previous episode that is. It has 2 parts, that is part 1 and part 2. So yeah. After that, I think more than that, I would say we don't have much to say. I want to say thank you for all the subscribers and all the likes, even though sometimes I believe that, it takes us a long time to upload some episodes, but we try to make time as much as possible. And also, one thing, there's lots of changes into this, shall we see, this podcast, because there are kind of a lot of changes actually. But I think that's one of the things that we'll get into. But first and foremost, we got to introduce our guests. Should I make it very dramatic? Should I? Okay, I should. In the evening, in Lofi Evening Podcast, we have a guest in our midst who is known for her beauty, ravishing beauty. And that's one of the things that makes her beauty. So stupid, if my grammar was wrong. Anyway, I would like to introduce none other than a familiar face that most of you must have heard, must have seen in social media. She's not a person that you don't know, but she is well known, especially in the world of fashion and especially in modeling. So I would like to introduce to you none other than Irene. Give her a round of applause, everyone. Okay, Irene, I would like to first and foremost say is that welcome to the podcast. But I think for most people who don't know you, can you please just introduce yourself? You can look at the camera and just say something about yourself, and then after that we have another surprise. So, we'll get to that. Yeah.
Alright, so hey guys, my name is Irene Dkhar and I'm 22 years of age. As of now, I'm into pageantry, and I'm currently preparing for my next competition, which will be held between the month of May and August, I suppose. And I think that's it, because with the conversation that we'll be having, we can get to know each other more. So
I think that's very important, getting to the content. That's why we had that conversation earlier. It feels like, I said I was talking even more. And before she explained your life, life and everything, I said, hey, stop. We got to keep that for the content. Okay. Anyway, so today another surprise to the podcast. And I got to introduce, as you know very well, that most of the time you can see me quite lonely in the corner. And I'm a person who's kind of like a lone wolf. I know, so cringe, no? But anyway, coming back to the point at hand, I would like to introduce my co-host or co-podcaster. I'd like to introduce none other than Grace.
I am a part of the Lofi podcast. Lofi Evening Podcast. that was wrong, but I am super excited to be here, and most of all, just being able to be here on the episode with Irene. So here's one thing I want to do right off the bat. I didn't get to applaud when we were introducing Irene, so I was like holding it back. So I'm gonna do it right now. Back to the applause for Irene. Here is Irene on episode 6 of the Lofi Evenings Podcast, and we are excited. Episode 6. Right.
Welcome to the team. Welcome to the team.
Thank you for having me.
In the corner, actually.
I don't know about being lonely, because let me tell you something, Irene. I'm not sure if you know this, but there is a plant that they had, an areca palm tree that they had. One of the props for the earlier season of the other podcast. And so the plant would hover over Jones because it was like so super close to him, right? And was just hovering. So he was trying to get into these very engaging conversations, right? But I just kept looking at that Areca plant over you, right? And I was like, you were not lonely then. You are not lonely now.
It was like so sensual then. The way
it was just like
this,
if there was a wind blowing, just like,
yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
And even went inside my ear as well. Can you imagine? it was like poking inside. So what do you respect that is?
That Areca plant was content for me at least. So yeah.
So there's a guess that I didn't know that I wasn't alone, shall we say, quote unquote.
Right.
But anyway, but yes, I really like the plan intro, because I've never noticed that people notice about the plan. If you can do your own research as well, I think it was with this background.
It was.
Right? If I'm not mistaken. Anyway, Irene, thank you for being the podcast. Kind of one of those things where I have seen you many times. We have followed you in Instagram as well. We're following your footsteps as well to becoming great, I would say. But anyway, people have known you for who you are. But let's just talk more about your life, right? How you started out and how you reached this point in your life where I think it's kind of surreal, right? The whole journey has been one of those things where it's been hard. It's been, lots of hurdles, lots of, pressure has been there. But can you explain a bit, how did you reach this point in your life where, you worked so hard and you reached this point where everybody knows you and because of your, your career in modeling and all that. So can you explain a bit about, a bit of your journey of how you reached this? I think that's a great start.
I think we should start from the beginning, before I started into this industry. Right. So I've always wanted to be in industry for when I was 14 years of age. But then that time I didn't have the support from my family because my dad wasn't there with us for a period of time because for some personal reasons. And with time, my mom's side of the family had to take care of us financially. So being the eldest daughter of the family, I had to face a lot of struggles and challenges, and as well as having a lot of responsibilities because I have 4 siblings to take care of. And it was just my mom. My mom was like the man of the family at the same time. So she had to take care of us. And with time, I'm really, when I see posters and especially when I see my friends going for Miss Meghalaya, Miss Shillong, I always wanted to be in that platform. But I knew that it would never give me that chance or opportunity to be there because, like I said, because I don't have that enough support, so to say. And so once, I think when I was 16 years of age, wait, how old was I when I was in class 12? Okay, I'll go.
Should have been 18-ish?
Most probably,
18.
So that is where I told my mom, I wanted to, participate in modeling, be in this industry. But then she was like, because that time my dad wasn't there at the same time. So it was hard for her to take the decision alone. So my aunts would be there and, they would help her take the decision. And I feel like at times, I feel like a cage because being the eldest of the family, like I said, I have a lot of responsibilities. And, I always have to live according to how they wanted me to live, you're the eldest child, you have to do this, you have to do that. And so in that case, even my mom didn't agree with me going into this industry. So what I did was, it was on my birthday, I think so, when I was in class 12. So 10th of November, they had this audition for models, okay, where they would do it for a fashion show. So I went and I was selected. So I was selected for that fashion show. Then I came back home. I told my mom that I would love to do this. So my mom was like, no, why do you want to do this thing? It's showing a lot of skin and all of that stuff. Then I tried to convince her. Then she was like, with days, she was like, fine with it. Then I'll just be honest, okay, and
please.
My aunt gave me the picture and she said that, don't allow her to go for these stuffs because it's not a good thing.
You've always got that one aunt.
Yeah,
go on.
One aunt. So I'm like, oh, what do I do now? Because it's something that I really wanted to go, and out of I must say 50 to 60 girls, only 10 or 20 girls were selected, so to say, and I'm one of them, right? So I don't want to miss this opportunity. And So even my teachers knew about it, and my teachers and my principal as well, they were like really supportive, okay? But to the point that when I went back to school, I mean, I told my friends, and even my teachers saw me crying for the fact I couldn't go for that actual fashion show. So told me, I would love to talk to your mom. And I'm like, no, that will not be like enough for for her to be convinced. So what did I do was I sneak out of school.
Whoa.
So
We got a bunker in
Tuck
the
away.
house.
so I told my mom that it's so supposed like the fashion show will be happening tomorrow, and today was rehearsals. So I was like, no, there's something inside me that I really wanted to go for it. Okay, usually whenever I'm scared, I'm really scared of my mom. I'd be like, if she finds out something else and this will happen, this and that, she'll you know that. But there's something inside me that really pushes me to go for it. So I was like, okay, I'll tell my mom that I'm having home science practicals and so on, but then I'll go to that
Fashion.
the
The
rehearsals.
rehearsals.
So I went there in my uniform, and I have the puffy eyes because I was crying the whole night.
Right.
I will not be able to make it, but God, I really want to go. So that's and then luckily I have my uncle. He's very supportive. Like he's my ride or die. Okay, he would really support me in all of this stuff.
Aw.
So I told him to take me to PB. Okay, the rehearsal was in PB. So we went there, and then I was doing the show out there. So while I was practicing, I got a call from my mom.
Okay.
Then
Suspense.
she was like, where are you? Then I told her, I'm having practicals.
Suspense.
Then
Lie.
she told me, excuse me, I'm in your school with your aunt. And I'm like, okay, what are you doing there?
No.
We talked to the principal and you're not in school.
Hmm.
And I was like, okay. Then she told me, where are you? And then I told her the truth, okay?
Yeah.
Then she told me, why are you like very disobedient and all that? I told Mom, I told you that I really wanted to do this. And you at first agreed, but I don't know why, just because someone comes in the picture and then you change your mind. So, she was like, come back home and all that. I was like so scared. I was sweating and also I called my uncle, let's go home. So he picked me up and then we went home. But then obviously he didn't come along with me because I don't want my mom to know that he was there.
Right.
So yeah, that was it. And I never had hopes ever since. But then with time, it really not kills me, like I felt that pain, seeing my friends being that platform. Like I'm happy for them. Like I saw Sayupa. So like she participated in the show and all. And then I'm like really happy for her to see her on that stage.
Yeah.
And I wish that I would be there as well. But then I'm like, no, maybe not now, but someday. So what happened is like years, and then as years passed by, and then I tried to talk to my mom. She's like, no, it was always a no. But then every year I tried my best to convince her. So eventually 2022. In the year 2022, that was the year where I started to have the guts to speak out for what is right, to speak out my mind. And because like I've seen in my family those times when my dad wasn't there, I had to go through so much to the point that, I had to see my own mom crying. And I don't want my siblings to go through what I've been through because, like I said, okay, I might be strong, but you may never know how strong they are and the decision that we take and all of that. So I always wanted to stand for them and speak up for them. And, basically those times in my family, whatever happens in the family, it doesn't stay in the family. It always goes out of the family. And that's when other people's opinion comes, that's when my mom also was like fickle-minded and what is right and what is bad for my kids, I suppose in that sense. So yeah, and it's also because, I always kept quiet. If they say no, I'm like, no. And if they say yes, I'm like, I'll just do it. I'll just do it for them. I just want to, like, so to say, please, them, just do it for them, never for myself. And I feel like this bird in a cage at that point of time. So, but yeah, there was once when I saw my mom crying, and that's when I realized that, no, this is enough. We've had enough. Like, because for me, I believe that when you show kindness, you do not expect kindness in return. That is not kindness. Kindness is when you give without expecting anything, right? So that is what I believe. And I told my mom, whether we're rich or we're poor, at least at the end of the day, we have a roof above us and something to eat. That's enough.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, and from that day onwards, even my mom started to like understand us and, and like I told her, see, you're a mom for a reason. You know what's best for us. So whatever decision you make for us, which means that it's, you know what's best for us, right? So in that sense, I tried to talk to her and that's how we started to bond with each other and all. Otherwise, before that, we're like, there's always a gap between me and my mom. We don't really talk with each other and all of that. So that is when things changes in my family. And then slowly with time, my father came back and yes. So still we had to face a lot of things until I won this Meghalaya.
Yeah.
So this is where, so how it started was 2022, yeah. There was one day I saw this poster, Miss Meghalaya poster, and I was like, I think I should ask my mom. After 2 years, I didn't ask her, so I was like, I think I should ask my mom this time. So I was like, okay, I just want to know whether she says yes or no. That's it. I just want to know about that. So I asked her, Mom, do you really want me to go? What happened? Oh my God! So it was in 2022 that I saw this Miss Meghalaya poster, and I really wanted to ask my mom about it, like seek her permission, of course. So I asked her, like, Mom, do you allow me to go for this competition? And she told me, like, why do you want to choose this? And it's not good for you and all of that. I was like, okay, fine. I just want to know whether it's a yes or a no from your point of view. So that was it. But then when I went back to school, my friends would be hyping me up like, this year I should go for Miss Meghalaya. And it's not just my friends, okay? It's especially when I go for events like weddings and all of that, people will be like, you have the height, you have this and this, you should go. But I'm like, I know I really wanted to, but deep down, they don't know what the story behind all of that. So I was deeply saddened by that. But then, yes, I never wanted to give up. I was like, maybe one day, if not now, but maybe one day. That one day is always in my mind. So, yes. So after that one day, after asking my mom and then to her answer, which was no, so another day I came back from college, asked her, there's something inside me, a voice like wanting to ask my mom, what is the reason behind, not allowing me to participate in or be in this platform? So I asked her, Mom, what is the reason that you're not allowing me to participate or be a part of this industry? Then she told me that, well, there's no reason for it. Like, she just ignored my question at that point of time. I'm like, okay, fine, never mind. Exactly. So, okay, fine, never mind. Then at night, I was scrolling through YouTube, and then I know that I will not get the opportunity yet. There's something in me, it's my hands, I must say, that wanting to go and check the videos of the past, Miss Meghalaya, the question rounds and all the rounds that they had over there. So, and then I would cry, like, I'm just looking at it knowing that maybe I will never be there, And so the next morning I woke up, and then of course, the thing about me is that I always have this strong faith in God, like, I kept on praying, like, if it's right for me, then maybe he will give it to me. So I prayed to the point that when one day before the auditions, I came back from college. And then my mom was like, we were just having a chat, like just like this only, conversation. Then she told me, do you want to go for Miss Meghalaya? I was like, I was the one who asked you first. And then at that point, I was like so shocked. Okay, I was just like speechless. I just sat there, and then I couldn't even thank her that moment. I went back to my room. I was shouting. Okay, I was like, what did my mom say or something like that? Right. So I went back to her and then I told her, Mom, like, what changed your mind? All of that. And she told, well, I was just like, maybe I just wanted you to give like a try more or a chance. And I'm like, okay, fine. I will definitely give it my best. And then I thank her for all of that. And I will tell you guys that although she hasn't been supportive throughout the journey, she was the most supportive person. Like, yeah, like, there were days where I would not be able to go because I had some medical problems also. And then like, she will be the one, like, even if I have to drag you, just go. So yeah. And then from that day onwards, I was like, no matter what, I will do it, everything from my mom. And that was from that day till today, whatever I do it just for my mom only, just for her to be happy and all of that. So yeah, and when I start the journey, so like, it was everything new to me because I've never been that platform. I've only seen it in Instagram and social media and all of that. So I went for the auditions and then I got through. So with time also, and plus, like, I don't want to take money from my mom because that was the time when my dad just got back with us, but still like you still have to face a lot of financial problems at the same time. So I was like, no, I'll just take my old clothes. That time, say if it's torn also just like pin it down and then go with that. And then my dad was like, I don't think so you'll reach because like, see, you always go with these kind of clothes. And also I was like, chill, never mind. You never know what's going to happen. And then, so I went for the competition, and then like, there are days where I feel like challenges because I don't know how to smile. Okay. The thing about smiling, because I have the serious face, and in this pageantry, like, you always have to smile. You always have to be like with that smiling face 24/7. Okay? Especially when you're on stage, you can't even like
the smile cannot slip.
Like it can, but
Alright.
you can't be in a like serious.
serious-
Basically, like the smile is like a cherry
like-
topping.
That's a tip that you get a tick.
Why don't smile? You think?
Most of the time,
Hello
you
guys,
guys-
my name is Jones.
So that's the only difficulty that I faced throughout. And then while preparing also, because I had to go back home, take care of my siblings, and then go for college and all of that. And so the final day comes. So on the final day, they told us like, okay, you might get any kind of questions and all that. I'm like, what to prepare? But I've never been there,
Right.
like, and most of my other co-contestants are like, basically like very experienced in this field. We have my friend Jessica, Rita Maya is also there. Like they have been in this industry, so at least they get to know what it is. But then for me, it's my first time. So I'm like, okay, God, what do? I don't know what to prepare on also. Then just before going on stage, I saw like while in the changing room or the green room, all of them, they're like jotting down the points, what to say and all of that. Like, because again, like we may never know what kind of questions we might get, right?
Exactly.
So I was like, shit, what do I do now? So I just went to the washroom before going on stage and I just prayed, like, then I used to carry a small Bible with me wherever I go, okay? Like, it's just a kind of, how
Good
do I
luck
say?
charm.
Yeah, something like that. So I just opened it randomly and then there's one Bible verse which says, I think it's from John. It says that if you believe in me, you believe in him also. Something like that, okay? And with that quote, I went on stage. With that Bible verse, I went on stage. And yeah, I made it through the first round. And then the second round, there were 3 rounds, if I'm not mistaken. 2 rounds of question rounds. Then I made it to the top 5. So top 5 also. And then, that's how things work. And then the moment I won, like, because the audience was like, it was all black, because of the lights and all. They were like dark. But then I could only see my mom's face. She was smiling and crying. And, that was the moment where...
That's a scene straight out of a movie, when you're right there.
Exactly.
And then the
Being in
spotlight
sunlight.
comes, right?
I think it's something about like seeing that special person, like something is kind of like satisfying to know that, at least I made them proud. I
Exactly.
think that's one of the things that really is very, very important, you see.
Yeah, I
Like-
think it's a feeling that you cannot, you don't experience that all too often.
Yeah,
So that's what
yeah,
makes it really
yeah.
special.
Yeah.
So I don't, I have just one thing to say
Yes.
because, I've heard you've shared
Yeah,
this story, but the difference with this time around is the fact all these details.
Out there.
I just want to say, like, I love the vulnerability.
Thank you.
You know how it is when you're going to be sharing a story like that. You can't get, you can't really understand, I guess, just how much of a challenge it was for you to get from there to where you are now with close to 4 titles now, right?
Yeah.
So for you to be able to share like all that you did, no, you're not holding back. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
And
Thank
I
you so
think,
much,
that's
Grace.
what makes you really authentic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that is the main thing that why, like we were saying the other day also, like we're talking with her as well. We're saying that I think most people construe or they think a podcast is supposed to be like, a thing where, oh, you say this, you do that.
Right.
So we've always been more or less thinking about the story behind the person. I think we talked about that earlier as well, right? Because mostly people paint you in a certain picture. Like,
Exactly.
oh, this is the person that he or she is, right?
Right.
But I think what she says is very true about vulnerability, right? Being vulnerable is one of the things that, we don't intentionally do that, but people actually know that you're genuine, like you said.
Exactly.
I think it's very, very important indeed. Anyway, we're about to reach the climax of the story anyway. We'll almost reach,
Right.
we're already there.
Did you take us to the
Highs of highs.
Almost.
Yeah, almost.
Yeah.
Continue.
That was the first part of it. So yeah, then that was the day when I won, and those aunts whom I told you who were like supportive.
Yeah.
So
What did they have to say now?
In your
No.
face!
In your
face!
so it was like this. So when I went back home and then I was in the car, my dad came to pick me up from the hotel. And actually they have an after party for me, but I don't want to attend it because I just want to go back home and hug my parents, And so my dad came to pick me up and the crown was in my head, okay?
Yeah.
And my father was like, you can take it off, you're in the car. I was like, no, I'm not going to take it off.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I'm not
It's
going
a
to take it
dream
off.
come true.
Yeah,
Why?
it's 12 a.m.
12 a.m.
Yeah, 12 a.m.
with the crown
exactly.
on. I love
I'm like,
the-
I'm not going to take it off. So then he took me home and then like all of my, my family members were there and my aunt was also there. And she saw me. I'm just like look who's here, you know, that look.
In your face.
Yeah.
In your face.
Exactly.
Man.
And then the next
Ultimate
day,
comeback.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm. And then the next day we have like a gathering, like, you know, basically like we're celebrating for my success, a victory, so to say. And she came and then she told me, see, it's not that I didn't support you. I was like, I don't want to hear all of that. I own it this
Yeah,
now. So
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
fine,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
And ever since that day, there was like a turning point in my family. Like, you know, I was, you know, being able to do a lot for my family as well, so to say. Like a little bit, not as how am I doing it now, but bit by bit, it has, you know, I've seen that God has really blessed me. And throughout that journey of struggle and suffering, I feel like, you know, those struggles and suffering, like the bigger they are or the harder they get, you know, the bigger your blessings come in your life. And I live by that. So, yeah. And I also thank my mom, because what if she supported me, or if she allowed me to go back then when I was 14, 15 years of age, maybe I wouldn't have not grown as I am now. So I'm glad. And I think it's all because of God's timing at the same time. And then with that, I went for Miss Northeast and
Back to back.
Yeah, back to back. Then Femina Miss India, and
didn't
then
stop.
Yeah.
I think right from the moment that you stepped on the scene,
Yeah, exactly.
you've just been going for it, and you've just been bagging title after title after title.
So that's something that's very important. Like, you know, like going towards a certain goal and always like having that mindset to do well.
Right.
And one thing I've always like noticed that, especially if you think about it, like sometimes, I don't know why, but parents will always be the one first stop you first, be like, okay, maybe I don't know about, I think it's intuition probably.
Yeah,
Maybe that's why I think she's not ready for it. Probably. You're not ready for it, you know. Then when you reach a certain point, right, then I think it just clicks on them that, okay, maybe she is, or maybe he is ready for that.
Yeah.
You know, that's very, very important. I think we as, you know, shall we say the youth, we mostly, more or less, we see that and we'll be like, okay, like my mom is not supportive or my dad's not supportive. But I think it's just not the right time, you
Yeah,
see.
exactly.
So it tends to happen that. What do you think, Grace? Like,
So
what
I
was it
think
that?
it's a perspective.
Perspective.
Right. So what you had to say, right, about God's timing, about you I think you filled in the blanks about why it didn't happen for you then.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I love that, because I feel, and correct me if I'm wrong, you're big on faith.
Yeah.
And there's something about being hidden by God until you're ready. Because they say, you said, right, when it's going to take challenges for you to mold you into the person so that you could be ready to handle that success. So I think your mom's way of holding you back from that, you took that as an opportunity to be like, all right, let's see how patient I can get with this. At least that's the way that I see it.
Yeah.
I feel like it's, again, a testament to who you are as a person, which is why the first time I heard about Irene, I wanted to know her story as well, right? And when we got to talking about this entire journey, but not with these details, it's getting even better now. You know, I'm like convinced. You deserve to be Miss Meghalaya and keep bagging all of these great titles. Yeah, that's what I feel. And I'm super excited to be hearing live in person on this podcast, all of these details, you know what I mean?
I think that's so important, like what you said about the religious perspective. And, you know, I think like most of the time we tend to consider the worldly outcome, you see. But like there's always something that is more, you know, other big forces, or shall we say, lack of a better term. It's like, you know, when the time comes, you just like, you know, back to back, you see, like about your aunt and everything, right? And so that's one of the things that I think proving wrong will come in its own time. But I think, you know, you have to really wait for that time. But when the time comes, it's going to be so satisfying. So, you know, I that's one thing I think, Grace, also, I think I've noticed that most of the time is that we tend to look at life in a way that maybe everything is against us. But it's just that I think maybe it's not the right time yet.
So again,
basically, it happens for a reason. You know?
Right.
For a reason.
And I think it's all to do with perspective, which I think you have like a really good hold of. Man, you put perspective into so much. That's what I get from you, right? Like the person that you are. I have one question.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you still wear the crown?
Of course I do. And I would not allow anyone to wear except me.
Right,
Yeah,
because
like
you're
that.
Miss Meghalaya. But how heavy is it?
Miss Meghalaya crown is not that heavy, but Miss Northeast crown is heavy.
Okay.
It's a bit bigger.
But they're okay. Do you get to, like, you know, take them home?
Yes, and I'm not going to give it back even if they ask it also.
Oh, okay.
I told my mom, even if they put me in jail, I'm like, no, it's like so precious,
Right.
and it means so much to me because
Right.
all of my hard work, whenever I look at it, like, that is because I put it on top of my bed, okay? Like there's a shelf.
Okay.
And every morning whenever I feel low, like that's the only inspiration that can keep me motivated for the
that's
day.
True. Yeah.
So yeah.
I think that's one thing that will makes you motivated, right?
Right.
Like,
Right.
I mean, that's the main thing that will keep us, shall we say, in the direction that we're supposed to go to, right? Having the accolades there, seeing it. Okay,
Yeah.
we have done. Can be anything. It's a crown or maybe your whatever graduation
exactly.
certificate, degree, or PhD, right?
Okay, I
Yes.
don't want to make this about me because right now it's all about this conversation with you. But just because Jones pointed out the graduation degree, okay, I have a story and I'll be real quick about it. Okay. So graduation degree, I got it after 4 years. The degree, the paper, and it also means a lot to me because I didn't go to college at the right time, like you should, like right after you're 12, right?
Yeah.
So it took me a little bit of time to figure out what degree I wanted to do and then pursued that. And then it took me another 4 years to just get the paper. But that was my achievement. It's got nothing. I'm not making it a comparison at all.
Yeah, I get it.
But what your crown is to you, that degree is to me.
Yes, I get it.
That's like your crown.
And I believe, like, it's not about the age, like, after you're 12, you must go for this and that. You shouldn't be in a hurry to learn because for me, it's all about experiencing. And at times, I wish that people would accept me, even if I failed also, because failure doesn't matter to me, but what you have learned. Because the things you will regret in life are the things that you've not even touched or done or experienced, and I feel that's what people should learn. I think so.
I am so on board with that.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you have a crown, Jones?
Yeah, I do have a crown.
What
My
is that
is
crown?
okay. What crown do I have? Okay. So,
There must be something.
My biggest crown, I would say, till date. So, I've always been a person who's I had body dysmorphia. Body dysmorphia, right?
Yeah.
So I've always been a guy who's always been very there are two accolades that I have, kind of like your crowns. These are my crowns.
Yes.
So anyway, the first crown is that I've always been like very. So I'm gonna make it quick.
Yeah.
So
Right.
like really
Don't worry.
So I have always been a person who's always had body dysmorphia. So people would say, "Oh, you're so thin," or you're so like that. I mean, nowadays everything's like that. So they say, "Oh, you're so thin, you don't look healthy," and all that stuff.
Right.
So okay, fine. So I started working out. So for 8 years now, being a bodybuilder, right? And then right now, I'm quite happy that I'm happy with my physique right now. So I feel so superficial right now. But
I don't
those are
think
all the
that's
things.
superficial. From
Like,
that point of view, what do you think?
I not to compete.
Let Miss
anything.
Meghalaya say if it's superficial. Is
I
it
don't think so.
superficial?
It's not.
It's not, right?
No,
Right?
no, it's not.
So okay. Check. So anyway, so it's been 7-8 years of my life. So thank God. Like, even though I think nowadays we see that most of the time, even if you get anything, they'll be like, "Oh, she got it easy," or something. Even that also is another thing. You see, then when I reach this point, they'll be like, "Oh, this guy's using steroids." So it's like, dude, man, I was like, I worked hard for 8 years, man.
Stereotypes then.
Yeah,
huh?
stereotypes.
I think what matters the most is satisfying your own happiness. Because we came to this world alone. We will be leaving it alone also.
Exactly.
So what people opinions or their perspective of to yours doesn't matter at all.
Yeah. So
Yes.
that's one of the
Mic
things.
drop.
Mic drop. Think that mic drop now.
Like for real, we
she's gonna
can't,
be like,
we can't really like satisfy them, whether we do good or bad. Still, they'll always be like, they'll try to pull you down, So at the end of the day, it's just satisfying your own happiness.
Satisfying, So second, I would say, sorry to myself, I'll make it quick, is the podcast itself.
I was about to say, because at first I was about to lean into him like saying the podcast. And then I want to hear the story. Do you want to hear the story, Irene?
Yes, I
about
do.
The podcast?
Okay.
Please do.
Wow. Okay.
Like, see, we're all here getting to know each other, right? So why not?
True. So the podcast started in 2020 during COVID. Okay, so during those times, apparently we had this. You remember we used to have that the live stream on Instagram. That time is still very like prototype. It hasn't like started like right now. We can record and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So the split screen was only 2. there was only 2 split screens.
Okay.
So anyway, and I was using this Redmi phone, which gets overheated very, very fast. Okay. And the battery like drains like this. Okay. But anyway, so apparently we used to, during those times, I was so bored. I had a friend of mine whom we always have these stupid live sessions where we talk about stuff and talk about, I don't know what we talk about it, but just like how we are talking right here.
Right.
Anyway, so time progresses. Say, hey, bro, you really have a good voice, man. Why don't you have like kind of like your own show, right?
Okay.
So, okay, that is kind of like a good idea because I have never seen like people doing that before.
Okay.
And people are bored anyway. They're looking at their phones and all that, right?
Right.
The whole day. So, okay, fine. So fine. So the first guest was my friend that I had. Okay, it was very less views, but anyway, I just did it. If you can go to my Instagram right now. It is there right now. So we had the split screen and all that. So after that, it just like catapulted, like, like I met a friend of mine and then he said, hey, Eliza Barre. I said, oh, I know him. So he said, okay, I'll bring him in. Then it's like, okay, fine. Then Bandrab came in. Then it's kind of like that.
Domino
Okay,
effect.
okay.
Yeah, the domino effect. Rebel came in also. Then Rebel also came in. It's like, how? Like, And so that put me into perspective where people say that, oh, but it's nice, the streaming, but the quality is really bad. So, okay, fine. So I knew him, James, that is, the man behind the plan. I mean,
Behind the
behind the camera,
podcast.
right?
Oh, yes, the camera.
the camera, behind the podcast, he's like in the corner. So anyway, but he was the guy, like, because we've been like quite close, right? From, I think, because we've always been in the locality anyway. So don't dox me, guys, okay? So anyway, so we in the locality, me and him. So we always like, so I had a vague idea that he was doing cameras. Okay? So fine. So then after that, then I contacted him. Then I said, hey bro, like, what do you think of a podcast in Shillong? Because I've never heard of a podcast in Shillong before. And I was inspired by Joe Rogan and various others, right? And I said, okay, fine. So I think then after that, I told James, and James was on it. I was like, okay, come, I'm going to ride shotgun with you. And I said, okay, fine. Then that's what makes us like who we are, is that we have unfiltered conversations. We don't care if you like you show your vulnerability or like, you talked about just now.
Yeah.
And we don't care too much of the views or anything of that sort, but just like for people to know about your story.
Okay.
That's what matters the most. Anyway, okay, that's it. So
Well, I must say, like, that's a big achievement itself.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
So to all of us.
We all have crowns,
Yeah.
and it was inspired by your
Exactly.
story.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
your story is inspiring me and you right
Yeah,
now to
yeah.
really like dig
I'm
deep
glad.
Yeah.
and be like, all right, what are those
Yeah.
achievements that we maybe have not really considered up until this point, had a
Yeah.
conversation about it.
Yeah.
And I hope that when people like listen to this conversation, right, they would also feel inspired to like take their
Exactly.
Own crowns. You
Own
have your own
Yeah, you
crowns.
have
Oh my
crowns,
God.
exactly.
You hear that, people?
So there's not a Goliath that we need to conquer kind of thing,
Right,
yeah,
right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Speaking of Goliath, you've got one coming up.
Okay.
So from Miss Meghalaya 2022, you went on to Miss Northeast 2022, then Femina,
Yeah.
Miss Meghalaya 2023,
Yes.
and then now finally the grand one,
Yes.
Grand Miss India 2024.
Exactly.
I'm curious. Okay, when will this? The first question is when are you expecting for the whole process to
Competition.
start? Yeah.
I think most probably by the month of June or July, because
Okay.
that's what we're told as of now, between May and August.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then what's the preparation process happening? And please explain this to me like I'm 5, okay? Because like I really like to visualize.
Yeah. All right. So usually as of now, I'm not preparing anything except just working out on my body, toning it a bit because I'm planning to, from next week, I'll be working on my different kind of walks because for the grand, you need to really be this kind of hyped up, full of attitude and energy kind of person on stage,
Okay.
So
Ooh.
yeah, I think not much of a preparation, so to say,
Okay.
like the wardrobe and all. Also, I have my designer now. Like, remember the thing which I told you for the fashion show when I didn't get to like walk for her?
Yeah.
So she's my designer now.
Okay.
Oh, how the
Okay.
tables
Yeah, exactly.
everything just connects.
HM Maui.
Okay.
Ming Maui.
Yes.
You wear a lot of the designs, right?
Okay.
Yes, I'm her brand ambassador now.
Ah,
yeah.
cool. Okay, we'll get into more about what the title, brings with it, right? But with Miss Grand India, do you have any question on this? Like, is there anything you want to know about Grand Miss India?
I think like for me personally is like I have quite a bit of question,
Okay.
but I think let's go a little bit back,
All
like
right,
more or
okay.
less to
Okay.
how you started out, right?
Okay.
Because that's what like I think will give more substance to where you are right now.
Okay.
See, so can you tell me a bit about like, okay, you're talking about since you're the eldest in the family, right? I think kind of one thing is that, you know, being in a family that being the eldest is kind of like huge responsibilities as well, and balancing out with life and studies and all that. How has it been, like, you know, being in that position where I would say, how is it hard, like when you think about it? Because sometimes in life I've noticed that we need to balance out so many things.
Yeah.
And, you know, keeping your dream such as being Miss Shillong also, or being
Miss
anything,
Meghalaya.
you know, it's kind of like not surreal, but sometimes it tends to be hard to like focus on that, you know.
Okay.
So how has it been for you,
You
especially
mean like managing both at the same time?
lives,
Yeah.
and being the eldest in the family? How has it been, you know, family life with studies, with, you know, all that? So can you tell us a bit about
Yeah,
that?
sure.
Like, don't mind.
Well, now at this point of time, I love being the eldest because it's not, like I said, throughout this whole time, you know, throughout my whole journey, I've been able to earn at the same time. And I always wanted to give back to my family. And now, like, I'm really happy that, you know, even if I get a little also, I always want to give to my mom, my siblings and all. And being the eldest of the family today, like especially having a lot of responsibilities, I'm really happy to carry these responsibilities, you know, and I think I'm the elder daughter for a reason. So like to look after things and all, you know, to make my mom understand, even my mom when she has like, you know, like say some hard days here and there. So she would always approach me and I would assist her that, you know, this is gonna like just chill, it's gonna be all right. And I have your back and all of that. So yeah. And when it comes to my studies, then honestly, I had to deal with anxiety once I won the title Miss Northeast. So coming back from Miss Northeast, I had to, because, you know, I have to do well in my studies at the same time, right? And I took a major in English. So that's like, okay. Because the English which I had back in class 11, 12 was like really fun, interesting. But with time, it got bored for me, so to say. But I have to pass it no matter what.
Right.
So when I came back, you know, I have like just 2 weeks or 1 week to prepare for my exams. And from there on, you know, with the competitions, even for Femina also, I didn't get to attend any classes, but it's always exams. The moment I came back, competition, exams. Yeah. But then that's how my anxiety got in the picture. And to the point, like, I'll be very honest, I'm an extrovert. But with time, you know, there was one specific day when I went out and, you know, there were a lot of people like looking at me, staring at me in that stare, you know, like, oh, she's Miss Northeast or something like that.
Yeah.
But then, you know, it creeps me out, okay? Like back then, winning the title of Miss Meghalaya, after that, like, I mean, I like the attention at times, okay? But there was one specific day where I was feeling like insecure, like, you know, this heavy feeling in my chest and I don't know what to do with it. And, you know, whenever I approach my mom about it, like, because I think she doesn't understand it, what really the feeling is. She would tell me like, you know, just pray to God and all of that. But no, it's really killing me, I must say, that to the point that I can't even eat, I can't even, you know, and I would just cry out of nowhere. And that's when I wanted to stand up for or be an advocate for mental health. Okay. And that's when I find this purpose of standing, because I know it's not easy to deal with it, you know, especially, and I realized that you need to be with around of good people, you know, good people, and especially your thoughts. You need to control your emotions and your thoughts. And today I have mastered the art of controlling my emotions and my thoughts. Like, and I can also switch my personality there and then. To be honest, yesterday and today morning, I had like a major breakdown. Okay. So because there were some things and I don't know what's the reason, but then before coming, I manifest that, no, I need to switch personality, and it happened then, but then it comes out from inside, of course. So
I understand where you're coming from. And I think kudos to you for being able to navigate mental health struggles and show up.
Yeah, that's
right.
True,
exactly. Because you know, in today's society, we live in a society where kids, they're not like, we may say that, oh, it's just a small problem for him or her, but they have different way of dealing with them, dealing with it, you know. And so, like, I just want everyone, like, or maybe the people watching, like, do not discriminate them or look them upon them, because they need you instead. Like, and they don't need you to give them advice in return. They just want someone to be there. Like for me, when I face those things, I just want a figure next to me and just listen to me, you know, just hear me out, so to say. Yeah. So That's
I-
what.
I'm on board with that entire
Yeah.
the need of the hour, like you say,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's not advice. Because if you could tone down the anxiety by just being
Exactly.
happy, wouldn't we
Yeah,
have
yeah.
all done that, right?
Yeah.
I love
Exactly.
that you said that it's the listening ear,
Mhm.
and presence, isn't it?
I think that's so important, yeah, if you think about it.
Mm.
Because if you look at mental health nowadays, I know it's kind of like a taboo topic, but most of the time
Yeah.
nowadays it's kind of like out there as well. Right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, even though I think we see our society, they have seen that, they know that it's there.
They know, but-
but still a taboo
Yeah,
topic, right?
exactly.
It's kind of like, it's kind of like cuckoo in the head kind of thing.
Right. So
Kind of
I wish, I know with your platform that you advocate for mental health so that it won't be as much of a taboo as it is. And I think even with having, a conversation around it right now is going to, move that in that direction, move that conversation in that direction. I wish I understood, because I'm no expert. I wish I understood why it was a taboo, but I don't. But I think, just speaking up about it, trying to get
Yeah.
just trying to get to the root of why can't we just talk about it,
Yeah.
I think that's a good first step.
Yeah. And the first step has to be a certain kind of, like you said, having, like you said also well, is that you need to have a proper social circle that you can talk to.
Yeah,
It's very, very important, especially to the people that you can really trust, because, if you think about, with all due respect, not being misogynist here or something, but for guys, we have to be like, we have to be tough, right?
Oh.
The tough guy kind of facade. We're like, you have to be tough. You can't talk to guy. You can't say about your feelings. But I mean, we all have feelings at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly.
We have, and we tend to go through.
You
hard
see,
times,
that's how the society has portrayed us to be or to live. But then I don't think, like I said, self-happiness matters a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm getting lots of stoic kind of vibe from here. This is no. It's like you cannot control, you cannot control the outside,
Right.
but you can control the inside.
Right.
Like how you
Yeah.
perspective.
Perceive. Did you say perspective?
Perspective. Okay, it's been a long day, guys. Perspective. Okay, there's been a perspective towards the world kind of thing. I think that's a really, really good thing. And you should, if you guys haven't read any book, read a book on Stoicism. I think it's very, very one of the things that really help you. Right?
I'm gonna read that.
Yeah, you gotta. You even have a devotion for 365 days. So anyway, you can try that. Even Irene can try that as well.
I don't know if Irene's gonna try it, because you are
she-
dropping pearls of wisdom.
Yeah.
But
You know
I mean,
what
I would love to try. Why not?
Okay, cool.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's kind of
A book
it's
club.
kind of, it's a book club. Yeah.
Book club.
Okay, I'll just send you the PDF later.
Yes, please.
Don't ask me how I got the PDF from. Okay, so
Legal.
you know the sites, guys. You know the sites, so you can go and check it out from pirate, if you know what I mean. So anyway, coming back to the point at hand, though.
What are you advocating? How do we get from mental health to piracy? How, Jones?
I mean, the PDF started out. So, what is your view on piracy? anyway.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, coming back
Coming back to the
Coming back,
conversation.
right to the conversation. So you're talking about especially about balancing life and all that. So what about how's it been? Because one thing is most of the time, remember we talked about earlier, is that we talked about the thing that we reached to a point where I think sometimes our parents need to know it's the right time kind of thing, right? But I think sometimes the right time, we have to make our own right time, right? So I think sometimes for me personally, after being employed, then I was able to be kind of independent and giving, financial aid to my mom and dad, right? So like you said, you give financial aid, I think that must been quite satisfying, giving, being there and being the mature one, and actually in some way also not being in a very bad way.
But you need to be a kind person to give also for that, Because for some they give it with, with doubts and all, then I think it's not a good.
It's kind of it's kind of, like she said, you have to be kind of humble in some way and also give, right?
Yeah.
In some way, it's kind of nice because it shows that you're independent and all that. So how does it feel, especially after, you have been out there and people know you and sponsorships and all that stuff? How's it been after giving the first paycheck to your mom, especially, and to your family? That's kind of
good
nice,
question.
right?
That's a good question.
Well, I think that's also one of the my crowns, so to say.
Right,
Because, I've always, like I said, even when I pray, okay, I used to pray that, Lord, even if you make me the richest person, also make me humble enough to give it to others who need it.
Yeah.
And then,
It's beautiful.
so I feel like it's a blessing for me, and it's one of my proud moments, like, giving that paycheck to my mom and indeed to my family. And the first paycheck that I got was, I think I distributed these shawls to the people in the streets, like, because it was winter and I think they needed a shawl. So I gave my cash price, half of my cash price, and I invest in that. Yeah.
Wow.
Now that's a beauty queen, isn't it? Right?
Beauty inside out.
Beauty inside out, beauty brains.
Thank you.
Everything, and so much kindness.
Yeah,
Thank you,
yeah,
thank you.
yeah.
So then, your first paycheck, you gave it back.
Yeah. Like, not all of it, of course. I need to.
I mean, right.
Because
Grace,
I wouldn't say like
because like after that,
a part of the paycheck.
Yeah,
but
because
go
like
on.
after that, I have to see for the competition,
right.
So exactly, but yeah. Okay.
Like the Grace.
I didn't. No, I wasn't. I got it.
That was
But-
fun.
Right,
Yeah,
but then
go
I
ahead.
feel like there was. I think you're. I guess being the elder kid in the family. Are you also an elder boy?
Are you?
Elder son? Kukado.
Oh,
Madu.
okay.
How do you relate to elder syndrome?
You're barking the wrong tree here. Okay. Go back to her.
Because I am middle child. Okay.
Ooh.
I know that there's, like we talked about, so much responsibilities placed on the first kid, right? And I think, I don't know, I just love how all of your experiences, right, from being like everything that is essential about who you are, it's shaping the way you navigate winning Miss Meghalaya and all of the, the journey after that, the giving your paycheck, and also being responsible enough to think about, hey, I'm gonna need to put some cash away because I've got something ahead.
Yeah.
That's being like, you've got a vision already. You know what I mean? Because I remember when I got my paycheck first time, I did not think about anything ahead. You know what I mean? So that's what sets you apart, I feel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to add a comment. I had no question.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I mean, jumping on your see, I mean, the thing that you said, it's like one of those things is quite satisfying when you get your first paycheck, right? It's like, okay, first thing, what are you gonna do with the paycheck? It's like, okay, I have so many things in mind. Like, I want to buy that, I want to buy this.
Yeah.
But I think giving to your family and to church as well is very, very
Oh
important.
yeah, church also.
Yeah,
Tithings,
yeah,
right?
yeah, tidings. These are two things that really, I think, go hand in hand. And I think that's one of the things you can consider as a biggest crown to all of us, I think.
Right.
All of us,
Right.
And I think if it wasn't for any of our parents, we wouldn't be this far as well, right?
Right.
But jumping on that as well, okay? Again, remember you talked about being on stage and seeing that person, your mom, that is, and like just like a surreal, cinematic kind of
Moment.
portrayal moment,
Yeah.
right? So when you saw her there crying, and you were on stage as well, when you're wearing the crown and everybody's cheering, I think in that moment, remember those kind of scenes where it's like just suddenly like you just focus on that, like the crowds just like disappear,
Yeah,
and
and
the
it's
only
just-
person is
yeah,
there,
yeah,
right.
you know? So how can you tell me that exact reaction? Like, how did you feel in that moment? Being emotionally in that moment where you see that, and I think a sense of huge amount of satisfaction comes into your way as well, but a sense of humility as well. So can you just explain to us a bit of that moment that you're there, like in that moment where you stood up and you're seeing that actual how shall we say, Grace, tell me.
So you're in the moment. It's happening as it goes.
Exactly. Yeah.
How do I feel?
How do you feel?
Looking back on it now.
Well, I have
Yeah.
only
Yeah.
one word, and that is I'm all over the moon. And the first thing I remember was like the quote, the Bible verse which I read. That was the thing which I remembered after I saw my mom only on stage. Like, believe in me, and then that was the point. Like, God really believed in you, and So I'm not gonna say that I'm a religious person or something. It's just
no,
that
I understand where you're
you
coming
know,
from.
like when you're faithful and when you believe that and you leave things in God's timing, leave things in God's hand, you will not stress. Even if things doesn't go the way you've planned, you will still be happy about it. Because for me, like I said now, like if I have to go through challenges or struggles, I always like believe that the bigger or the harder it gets, like, the bigger the blessings to come in my life.
Yeah.
So that's how I live my life, so to say.
I love it. I love it. And I totally understand where you're coming from, especially when you say, you're not religious. But faith matters to you.
Yeah, it does.
Doesn't it? And I think I just love the way that you tie it all back again to everything that has shaped who you are as a person. It's just overflowing now into all of these moments.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
True.
It's an extension. Anything you do is just an extension of who you are. And I think that's what makes, to me, the Miss Meghalaya of my dreams. Oh. Insert those hearts with the donuts.
Filter karo, huh?
Yes, please do. I would love to see that.
I think in the reels, do that. Just put just a still picture of her with bubbly eyes.
Or maybe all around,
Look.
Oh, yeah. You already got one there.
Your buttons as well.
My buttons. There are heart motifs everywhere. Because I was ready for you. I was ready with love. I came with love.
You guys need a room or something?
After
Girl
this.
empowerment. After this?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm out for it. Okay. So wait, I gotta bring myself back because when I get really
Back to
excited, right, I
reality.
just do weird things. Back to your
Guilty shout like the first time you
Back to reality.
do that once.
Which one?
The ooh, you said something new that time.
What did I say?
You make some noises that were like,
Dude, I don't know. Those things just come out in the
It's just
moment.
it's in the moment always.
It's
Yeah.
in the moment.
it's
I
in the
never know
moment,
what
yeah.
comes out of me.
yeah.
But what were you talking about? Yeah. So the thing is that I always notice that, especially, I think we had that discussion before the podcast. It's very competitive, right?
Okay.
The competition, it's
Yeah.
not like, what I'm saying is even Miss Meghalaya is not a matter of joke, and
Yeah.
the competition is high, and everything seems to be so cutthroat, more or less, right? So can you explain to us a bit of, even to the viewers? I think it's very essential that we understand how the process of getting to that. Can you explain a bit how has it been, the competition being there? Because being in that competition and against other people who are equally as competitive as you are, and equally wanting that crown that is above your bed,
Right.
it's not a matter of joke, 10 or 20 or whatever it may be. So can you explain a bit about how has it been right from the first start, when you start auditioning to qualifying to reaching to the top tier of the top tier? Can you explain a bit about that? How has it been the journey, and is it hard for you? Was it competition was dirty or clean or whatever it may be? Yeah.
I'll be very honest, okay? So it's not, for me, it's not at all that much of a competition, because I went there with a positive mindset. And it's really important to have this positive mindset, because, there are days where you'll be, they would like to see you work under pressure. That's what they do in this industry, okay? How much can you handle stuff within, basically when you have your PI, they would supposedly give you a different topic the night before the PI. But, just before the PI, 5 minutes before the PI, they might just change it. So you need to be able to think then. And speaking of competition, well, I must say it's a healthy competition, because knowing at the end of the day, there will be only 3 winners, right? And, what matters the most to me is knowing that you've given your best and that you were there, working hard. Basically from the start of the journey, you need to put a lot of effort, so that even if you do not make it, you will have that satisfaction that, okay, I may not win the crown, but you may have won hearts. So I think that matters a lot, And, pageantry, what most people don't get it is they think that, no, there'll be only 3 winners and the other are losing or putting it down. But no, it's not like that. I feel for me personally, from my perspective, I see it as a platform to showcase yourself, because I may have not won the crown, but I have gotten a lot of opportunities from Miss India. I'm the brand ambassador for the Sunrise, ITC Sunrise, the brand. And then I've been doing a lot of shoot for SBI and getting a lot of national, brand shoots. So I feel it's a platform to showcase yourself, not just to go and win. If you're not winning, that is. So it's like that.
Understood. I love that. I love that. But there's just something I want. Clear something up for me, Mom.
Okay.
When you get into the world of pageantry, right? So you started off as a beginner, you said.
Yeah.
Now, say you were to tell me, who was a beginner who wanted to get into that. What's that? What should I be expecting? When I get into it, what are some of the things that I should be expecting? What's that process look for a beginner?
Well, the word beginner itself, like someone who doesn't know someone who he or she has to at least know the basics of, and then with that you can, through the grooming sessions and all, then you'll be able to, work it out on what the judges are looking on for on stage and all, or in the winner.
Okay.
So yeah, that's it.
So what are the basics of pageantry?
Of pageantry. So basically for me, when I first started, I must have an interest first of all, because if you don't have an interest, then what's the point, right?
Right.
So you must have an interest. And then secondly, try to know, because different pageants have different expectations or criteria.
Okay.
Like for example, Miss India. Miss India, if you win from Femina Miss India, you get to go to Miss World. You represent at Miss World. So there they look for someone who's grace. You have to have that elegant, charismatic kind of energy, so to say. And the Grand is kind where they look for someone who's hyped energy and attitude. They look, so like that. You need to know what specific pageantry is looking for in the girl or in the winner.
Because I never knew that. I think that's a really cool breakdown because I never knew that about pageantry. I thought one crown, one specific set of expectations, but I didn't realize that with each pageantry there were different expectations. Thanks for breaking it down. I appreciate
and
that.
most importantly also the presentation that you perform from day one. That matters a lot. It matters everything, to the point that even the way you sit, the way you sleep also, I suppose. You need to have perfect nighty suits and all of that. So
So,
but I like it because when for me especially, who love dressing up, back then I used to play basketball, so I'm always most in my joggers and a little bit very boyish. So the moment I participate in Miss Meghalaya, I got to slay with my bag, different bag day by day and different outfits, you need to feel like a queen to be a queen, so to say, if that makes sense.
It does make sense. It does make sense.
I mean, give you that bragging right as well, if you have it, show it. I think that is the best motto that if you have if you have a good physique, show if you have a good physique.
What did Bruno Mars say? If you got it, flaunt it.
Yeah,
You remember this song?
Exactly.
I don't remember where it's from.
If you have it, show it. I mean, who cares, right? If you're good at sing. I mean, if you're good at anything, show, right?
Because people will talk, but what you got to do is just go through the right path, do the good things in life, and that's enough. I suppose.
But I want to jump on your bandwagon, I would say. This question then,
Let's go.
So you're saying about the methods, right? Or so using a research, the methodology.
Methodology.
So
scientific.
The methodology or the method, right? Of how, because like she said, there is certain kind of criterias and certain kind of, like you said, the grooming around and all that. So for you, have you been memorizing or have you been practicing before going to the grooming or then you suddenly got exposed to this, okay, because there's certain poses you have to hold, there's certain the smiling and all that, all that just now. So were you been practicing or is it a premeditated? Kind of you have been practicing from the start, you've been watching YouTube videos and all that, or was it
on the go?
Yeah, on the go.
Was it then come up later? No, you need to practice for this, of course.
Okay.
Because you need to stand, look in the mirror, how your expressions are, and you need to carry yourself according to the dress that you're wearing, so to say.
Interesting.
But I think that's quite, it's quite hard though. I mean, I think you had been practicing before even going audition, or was it?
Yeah, exactly. Although they will have their own groomers out there, but I feel at the end of the day, personally, I need to have my own signature walks and my own signature smile. Whatever I do, it has to be unique, so that stand out from the rest, It has to be like that.
But one thing I've noticed, that in fashion, it's always been what you see is what you get, right? So once you start, maybe when you're in your room, you're good. Okay, you're good. Now you're okay, I'm very confident. I'm ready to, go for the crown or whatever it may be. I'm going to be champion. Once you step out and start going into the real world of competing, is a different ball game altogether. So let's just say, and in this case, maybe you have a photography session or something, right? And a photo shoot more or less. So it's kind of, not scary, but nervous also, right? For the first time, maybe when you step there, if it was me personally, I'll be very extremely nervous. If I'm beautiful, if I have the good physique, fine. But
Right.
still, I will be nervous, very nervous. So, how did you adapt to the whole? Where did you get the confidence from, or where did you? Were you like nervous when you first married?
The confidence is in my thoughts.
Oh, the way she went, the confidence is in my thoughts.
Okay, done. Podcast over now.
It's the confidence in my thoughts. I love it. That's a hashtag.
Yeah.
So
Actually, confidence in my thoughts would be in the podcast. I remember that.
It's bad if you want to.
Yeah.
So yeah, what were we talking about?
The confidence in my thoughts.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you need to have confidence.
Yeah.
Well, there were points of time, there were times where I was like really nervous also. But as I'm like engaging with the crowd and all, I think the nervousness just go away just like that.
Right.
I think it's just like you need to manifest it, you need to work it out by yourself, practice it out. And like I said, it's all matters on the thoughts. It's the thoughts that can really decide what you're going to do and what you're not going to do. If you think that this is going to happen, then that is going to happen eventually.
Yeah.
So
That's
yeah,
true, yeah.
what you think here happens in reality.
That's actually true. And I second that.
Yeah.
Because, when it comes to like dealing with nerves, right? You got, for instance, coming back to your story, your moment to step onto that stage came. So it's hard to not think that you would not have the nerves to go with it, right?
Yeah.
It's amazing to think about how you have mental fortitude to be like, I feel this way, but I can think or put a perspective on it that can help me behave the way that I should be in order to, have the confidence in this and that, right? I think, again, it just speaks to your mental fortitude, your essence as a person. There's just so much to learn, I feel like when Jones is kind of like putting these questions out there, you're really dropping these like pearls of wisdom for sure, that I feel like so many people who know the struggle would be like, yeah, that's actually real, that's true. And they can apply it. For those who don't, they could apply this, right? Because I think even from pageantry stages, the lessons you learn from there, you can take it to the real world as well. I'm not saying that it's not the real world, but I'm talking about day-to-day stuff, right? Day-to-day challenges of life. And I think you're putting those lessons out there so gracefully.
Yeah.
Miss Meghalaya.
Yeah.
Future Grand Miss India.
Oh, I hope so.
Future. We're speaking it into existence, eh?
In this podcast is first set. No, set first. Oh, is in this podcast that she has prophesied that she's gonna get.
Right. So the first time for what?
First,
We're getting lost.
You heard it here first.
Oh, you heard it.
Okay.
That we want to see Irene Dkhar,
Yeah.
Grand Miss India 2024. We're making that prophecy from here on out, and of course, I know it's nerve-wracking.
It is.
But is there any way that people who actually tune into the show that will be televised later, like, is there a way to vote, or is it that a jury
I don't
thing?
think so. It's like a jury thing.
A jury thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know. Let's see. Things changes.
Right. So we'll be looking, I think we should be like on the lookout for that so that we could like hype it up.
Yeah.
So that all of you guys can do it too. Make Irene the next Grand Miss India. I think,
Great.
But okay.
Yes, I like it.
So let's.
Yeah.
Do you want to take? Do you want to take it from here?
Yeah. So the thing is, I've noticed that most of the time is, looking at things, how the fashion industry has gone so far, right? It has even fashion. When you look at how Shillong has taken on the fashion industry, and when it looks at modeling and all this various other aspects of how modeling has gone into, and the entertainment industry and all that, and you look, the boom after COVID was huge.
Yes.
We came also after that as well. So what is your take on the fashion industry, like contemporary, like right now as we speak, and like how has the prospect of being a model as well, like the opportunities that you get is becoming surmountably better.
Marvelous.
Okay,
Got it.
There
Okay,
you
can
go.
you please explain that.
More or less like, how has it been like, if you look at the contemporary fashion industry and everything, how has it been, according to you? What do you feel about it? Like, how has it reached to a point where do you feel it's going in the good direction or in a bad direction?
In Shillong?
Yeah, in Shillong.
Yeah, it's definitely going in. I mean, we make a lot of like fashion, just like Rachel said, like makeup is the, like at that point where a lot of people are going through, how do you say it? Tell me, please help me.
A lot of people are going through.
A lot of people need that. So even fashion's also like, going towards the direction of a profitable industry, so to say.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, although it's not really growing, but I can see like our state are really working towards, choosing the right path in this industry.
So
the
there
fashion
are
industry.
efforts. You notice that there are
Yes,
efforts.
there are a lot.
I think.
Plus, to be honest, if we go out like in the south or of India and all of that, we Northeast have the best sense of fashion.
Oh yes.
So we're not at all lacking, so to say.
Shall we do?
I do my best. I do my best.
Like honestly, yeah.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
And to I'm not saying the rest of other Indians aren't as fashionable, because it really depends as well on who you are as a person.
Yeah, exactly.
The
When you
demographic,
say like Northeasterners, right? I mean, I get it. We get that compliment a lot.
Yeah.
Because it's not just fashion for us. For us, it's like creativity,
Right.
You give me a pajama, I would style it with my
Right.
accessories and all of that,
You'd make it cute.
Yeah.
You'd find a way to make it cute.
That's a good thing, actually.
Good take, no?
Yeah, it's like whatever you have in your closet, try to like improvise. what
Yeah,
you
exactly. You don't need to like buy it for this and that, You just
Right.
like,
Comes back to
Improvise
what you
it.
told us about the beginning, when you had to like
yeah, exactly.
undo your
Yeah.
clothes. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
You
So
put in your clothes and all that.
right,
Yeah.
so you've been creative with fashion even since like
Yeah.
before then. So I understand where you're coming with when you were sharing that insight about what you think the fashion industry here in terms of how it's going forward. If it's going forward, are there efforts? I see where you're coming from. I'll second that again.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Checklist.
But
Okay.
yeah, you go ahead.
I wanted to ask you
Okay.
to play a game.
Okay, I'm in for it.
Are you in for
yes,
it?
I'm in for it. Okay.
Yeah.
This, because I am so curious for people who have a social media presence, right? With your title came the social media, the status of being a public figure, right? And social media followings came into the picture.
Yeah.
You have about 26.1 thousand. I checked.
Oh, stock.
Just on Instagram alone.
She checked.
So, being the Irene then, because were you an avid social media user? I just need to know this before, when Facebook came out back then. You remember those years?
Yeah. Like my account was basically like very private and,
Private.
And I had to like take a big step also to make it public. Because I was in industry, that's why I had like to make it public. So it takes a lot of guts.
With that insight, I want to know, before we get to the game,
Okay.
how has this entire experience with social media been like for you? Like, we've heard of trolls, we've heard of hate comments, we've heard of good experiences as well, where you're inspiring people and all. And I noticed that on your page, at least your Instagram account, a lot of your audience is really engaged. They comment, they are loving these, style outfits that you're putting together, and they're always engaged. They're leaving wonderful, wholesome comments for you. Have you ever had to deal with trolls and hate comments of any sort? Yes. What's can you remember
The
one?
worst.
The worst, or just one that immediately comes to mind?
I think there are a lot that I don't remember anymore,
No.
But it did affect me at some point back then, after I won Miss Meghalaya.
Okay.
But with time, I think it's just like normal for me, that I'm just like, ugh,
So you've adjusted to it?
yeah.
Okay.
a lot.
Okay.
Like it's pretty normal for me that I don't even check my comments anymore at time,
Right.
And if I was to get some also, I would just like look at the positive comments, and that would just like shoot up. I mean, at the end of the day, like everyone has a different perspective, different opinion, and I respect them. If they don't like me also, it's their opinion. Not everyone has to like me. So yeah.
I love that. But I'm curious then, who's in your DMs? That's a game.
Who's in my DMs?
Who's in your DMs?
Who's in your DMs? Check
we
that out.
kind of want to ask for weird, fascinating, interesting
Mm-hmm.
stories. You know, of the weirdest messages that you receive in your DMs, in Irene Dkhar's DMs.
Okay.
Let's
What's-
just. Sorry to cut you off. Okay?
No.
Let's
Chime
just
in.
give the most like the weirdest,
Weirdest,
the best,
best.
and like maybe someone you looked up to texted you.
Oh yeah, that's a good
That'd be nice, no?
Okay.
We're looking in the DMs, people. Drum rolls.
That's why it's good that I. Oh, thank you, man. This is a bro moment right here, okay? Bro moment.
Bruh. No.
What
Pod.
is
Pod
my
moment.
DMs?
We'll share the pot.
Pod moment. Share the pod
So
moment.
bad, that one. Seriously, like we'll go to.
We'll get there. We'll get there. All right. So, what was it with categories again? Worst message,
creepiest,
creepiest,
Yes,
worst,
the worst, and then the best,
best.
and at least someone that
Someone you looked up
you
to.
looked up to, and
The worst, I don't think it's there. I don't know, maybe I don't check. I don't know. I only get the worst in my comments, from that also
Oh, the
from
comments can be
fake
also.
accounts, so to say.
Fake accounts,
Yeah.
bot accounts. We know who's a bot.
So, but
And
the
we
worst
don't
in my
know
DMs
that.
and none. And what are the categories? again?
Best
The
Best.
or wholesome, right?
yeah.
Best or wholesome.
That's like, because I don't really engage into these conversations. So,
Okay.
wait, let me just have a look.
No, and I understand why, because you've got a really tight schedule.
Yeah.
And that's not the thing also. It's
Oh,
because
it's not the thing.
I'm not into texting and all of that. So yeah.
Good to know. Good to know.
But I like when people, compliment me and send me good texts and all. There are
So-
some who like people look up to me, and I feel good. And yeah.
All right. So then, how
So-
about this?
So you're more of a calling person than a texting person.
No, I don't call. I don't know. It
Okay.
depends on my mood.
Okay. There you go. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
Okay.
Grace. Sorry.
No. Don't worry about. Don't apologize.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, if you can't right now, if you can't think about the best or the worst,
Mm-hmm.
then what about that person that you were inspired by, or you kind of admired, and yeah, you had a message? Does one pop up in your mind?
No.
No.
Because
you
my
out there
only
inspiring
inspiration
people.
is my role model is only Lady Diana. So
Oh,
of course she won't text me. Like,
yeah.
So that's your biggest inspiration.
Yeah.
And she's a style icon.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So yeah. Besides my mom.
Besides your mom.
Mm.
All right.
That's
All
nice.
right.
So yeah.
But from people that I really look up to, then I don't want to say. I mean, I respect people. I respect Sir Brian. He was my mentor for Miss Northeast and even Femina Miss India. He has been helping me so much.
So Brian Wala.
Yeah, Sir Brian Wala.
Okay.
I look
KC
up to
headmaster.
him. I look up to him as well.
Okay.
You do?
Mhm.
I love
And then I
that.
also have Ma'am Rochelle.
Mm.
And Ma'am Rochelle is who?
She's also she's an event planner, most probably.
Event planner. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So people who are not very active on social media, you would say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Understood.
Ma'am Rochelle, she is active, but
But
Sir Brian's yeah.
Who's like the person that shows you the weak spots of your, because obviously we will see her be like, she's perfect, right?
right.
Okay.
But there's someone who has a good eye for it. Like,
Yeah.
no, you're not.
My best friend.
Your best friend.
Yeah.
Like she's like, no, not like that.
Yeah.
You go wear something or you post another way. It's like, no,
Yeah.
still. Also your best friend.
My best friend.
Ah.
Post another way.
I mean, like anything when it comes to personality, because like I said, right, we always see you like, oh, she's perfect.
Yeah.
But then there's always that certain person who will always want to make you be even better by criticizing you in a very,
Oh yeah.
very
So that will be my best friend, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. There you go.
I love that. How long have you guys been friends for?
We've been in the same school since kindergarten.
Oh,
But then
that's a
we get to know
long
each
friend-
other. Yeah. We get to know each other more better, I think, from class 11. Like we knew each other back then also, but we're not in the same circle.
Okay.
But then we do vibe a lot. So yeah.
And then somehow you guys became the best.
The best of the
the best of the
yeah.
best.
Okay.
So then she keeps you grounded in that sense, right?
Mhm.
Grounded is a good word. Yeah.
No?
Grounded.
Grounded.
Yeah.
What kind of stuff does she point out on?
Like, especially even after this podcast, I'll go back home and be like, go check whether I make a mistake and all of that. So,
And so
yeah.
she's gonna be
And
like-
she's going to be like, when I explain it to her, then she'll be like, why are you exaggerating? It's fine. It's like this and that.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Oh, she sounds super
Yeah.
cool.
And
What's her
maybe
name?
like if there's pardon?
Well, sorry, just her name.
Yeah, tell me. Oh, her name.
Huh.
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth.
Yeah,
okay.
Elizabeth.
Shout
Okay.
out to you.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Shout out.
So and then even at times when I go for events and all, I'll be like, I used to confuse, which color will match to this and all. I'll just video call, like pick up the call, come on, you. And then in that sense, we used to do that.
Okay. So that makes a lot of sense, because that actually was a follow-up question that I had meant. So when you go to an event, when you go to an event, how do you work things out? Because it can be a very frustrating process, I guess, because you got to think about the look and tie it to your makeup and do the hair. So you got your best friend as well who can like chime in. Oh,
that's good. If you have someone like that, it's like you should always keep them very close.
Yes, definitely.
That's the thing. But I was actually, since we are talking about a certain kind of topic, where talking about mostly the mental aspect of being strong and having perseverance and all that, right? Mental fortitude, that is. Because sometimes I've noticed that for me personally, I've always been, I think Grace can relate to this as well, is that confidence doesn't come naturally, right? You have to have someone to guide you and being the guiding light, more or less. Because for me personally, I wasn't this confident. It was my best friend again who actually told me, go to a gym and start working out, or start studying hard, because you don't have a life, but I mean you have to work hard, because this world is very cutthroat, right? So who has been your guiding light to mold you in this way, where you have positive thoughts, where you have you can go through anything, and again you give credit to that person?
My mom.
Yeah, mom.
Yeah.
Okay. End of story. Good.
But it makes sense because, right?
It's a one-word answer.
I guess it just like comes back again to you've got a very tight circle, man. You know who your people are. And I think, would you, correct me if I'm wrong, would you say that having that support system has been very key to your success? And continued success.
It matters a lot. It makes like a lot of difference. It helps you, like, especially when I go out of the city. Out of Shillong and all. So you have to be there by yourself. So you really need your support system to be there for you, and to motivate and to push you forward, achieving your goals, so to say.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. That is really true. Yeah, I mean, support system, having the right person in the corner of the ring kind of thing,
right.
It's very, very important. Yeah, I think in my opinion has always been pivotal.
I've seen a lot of reels and what people believe in today, that if you have a goal, you can go for it alone. But I feel no, we are humans and we still need someone by our side.
Yeah, that is so true. Because I think we always need someone, because at the end of the day, we are social animals, right? True. We always need that certain kind of person who will guide us in the right way. I think that's so important, And since we're going to go in that direction again of mental point of view, right? You're saying you're a big advocate of mental illness and and against it, and more or less not against it, but trying to be a person who tries to bring it out there, like she said, being it more relevant and pushing it to the front line, more or less. So we even had one guest, I think James, was that Nangsan, right? I think so. Nangsan was the one also. Shout out to you, bro. He also talks about the same thing about mental health and all that. So how has it been? I mean, I hope I'm not intruding to any personal issues or anything.
Okay.
But like, what are the steps to beat when you're really? I know the crown is one of the things that you look up to. Okay, it's like literally up there. It's like it's there. Okay, but what are like shall we say, the methods or the techniques that you beat depression, or you beat a certain kind of how shall we say, when you're really at your lowest of lows,
I would say reach out to a psychiatrist. They are there for a reason, and we need to be conscious of our mental health just as how we are conscious of our physical health as well. And the psychiatrists are there for a reason, like they're not, so for some people they be like especially for me, I'm scared to open up to people because with that fear, they might tell to other people and all of that. But going to a psychiatrist, they are professional in this field. They will know how to guide you through, handle your emotions, and I think that's one of the reasons how to beat depression, if you're asking that. So
that's one of the things, right? And also the most important thing that I have noticed in my life as well, tip to you guys as well. If you want to know a person that goes to depression, right, look at the sleep pattern always. Sleeping is one thing that people don't get. Because if you don't have sleep, that really
messes up with so many other aspects of your life, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
On that note, it also messes with your bladder.
Okay.
And I will want to let you guys know that I got to go to the bathroom.
Okay.
So don't worry, this is going to be cut.
Okay.
But please excuse me for my little tiny bladder. I will be back in 2 minutes. This
Okay,
might be a segment where my bladder comes into play. It does these weird things. I'll be back.
so
I know exactly. I was like, is she gonna explain some health issues?
I was like, okay, for your bladder. He was like, yes, right.
Oh, please go on. Let me tell you about the link.
You know, talking about that. It's like, she's not serious. Is it serious?
Exactly. I'm like, okay. Is that how she talk in person also?
Yeah, exactly.
So when you call me to be a part of a podcast, you will expect some very unusual segments in the podcast. Okay.
You're a bubble of surprise.
Okay, so
Yes.
on that note of the bladder and depression, right? Let me link it properly for you.
Okay.
Mind map the whole thing, Depression.
Okay.
One of the behaviors, you tend to sleep in bed because you don't have energy to wake up, to eat, to do anything.
Yeah.
Sometimes you even forget to brush.
Yeah.
You know, little energy for the little things is not what you have. What's a little thing? Connecting now. Bladder.
Okay.
It's a little thing. Do you have energy sometimes to go and pee? You may not, depending on your intensity.
Okay.
I can't keep a straight face, man. Seriously.
So I'm just trying to justify.
James just
I'm
left
trying
the
to
room.
process that.
She's like, don't keep a
I'm
serious face. Like,
justifying. See, because if we want to have talks about taboo subjects like mental health, why not have a fun way to do it?
okay,
I will look for a study that supports my claim.
One paper will be there for sure.
One
somewhere out there.
paper. But anyways.
Yes, go ahead. Yes, okay, then the bladder, yes.
Right.
Then.
No, that's it. That's the connect.
Okay.
The energy. So, but here is a scientific fact, you guys, all right? So
Okay.
this is actually real.
Is this true?
This is
Okay.
true.
This is true.
This is super
Okay,
true.
fine. Okay.
True.
Not
Okay.
search in chat
I am
GPT.
not joking. Okay, so
Okay.
this is the scientific fact about bladders. When you hold your pee, some pee siya berpelan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pim led siya pagkana. Pibat bed, fistat bed. That actually weakens the muscles or some part of your bladder that's supposed to help you hold it in, right? It
Oh,
weakens
yeah.
that part. So you cannot really, then you say, I have a small bladder, I can't hold it in. Because you've been holding it in all that time. So it actually has an effect.
Okay.
Oh,
I tied it.
That's true,
That's
right?
the truth. That's the
Okay.
truth.
Okay.
the
I mean,
truth.
there's a better way, scientific way to explain it, but that's the truth.
Yeah.
I just linked it better to depression.
Okay. Fine, noted.
Thumbs up to you, man.
So you see not the line of
You're on a
thinking.
roll, dude.
All right, but enough of depression and pee,
Yeah.
For right now. Let's get back to the conversation about
Yeah,
Irene.
yeah.
Okay.
So when I took my bathroom break, what were you guys talking about?
Okay, good. Okay, anyway, what are you talking? Oh, yeah. Yeah, the sleep cycle is very, very essential. I can't keep a straight face, man. Okay, anyway.
The pattern of the sleep cycle.
Yeah, the pattern of sleep cycle is always necessary to look into a person's it's kind of like the roadmap towards why you reach a depression. So I think guys, get your rest. That's very, very essential.
Yeah.
So your rest, your at least 7 to 6. I get 6 hours of rest more or less. So how many hours do you
Same, 6, 7.
6, 7, right?
6, 7.
That's a good thing. 6 is always a good kind of benchmark, I would say, gauging. So that's one thing.
Are you a night owl? Is Irene a night owl or an early bird?
Oh, yeah. Good one.
No, it depends on the competition. During the competition, I always get a routine where I have to wake up early in the morning. So by 6, and then you have to wake up, do your makeup, and then be in that full. Like for some contestant, they don't mind coming in pajamas and all that. But for some of us who really have to be all glammed up 24/7.
Okay.
So yeah, and especially there are days where it's really tiring also where I get to sleep at 2 and wake up at 6. So like I
hours
said, it's
apart.
all about handling work under pressure.
Yeah.
Right. So you strike a balance between work and life, huh?
It's quite good, yeah.
You
you-
take it. You take it.
Sure?
Yes.
Thank you. So anyway, I think one of the things that I've always been fascinated about, and we have seen in shows and commercials and movies and all that, is we talked about the positive side of things, like career and all that. It's great, well and great. What was the darker side of, the entertainment industry that you go through. If you don't mind me, I'm intruding to that, but whatever you can say, just a bit can shine light upon it, like the darker side of things. I feel like Darth Vader right now, the dark side of things.
You want to know it all.
Anyway, what do you think about it? Like,
Well, there are a lot, like, although I'm not very confident about it to tell you about it now itself.
Yeah.
But then, like I said, I need courage for that to speak it out. But I think soon enough I will, because I don't want what I've been through my other sisters as well, who will be going out there for the competition to go through, but just like a warning for them, And I'm not scaring you guys. It's just one way of you being aware of these things, these stuffs, and because the world out there is like really different, especially if you're like, for me, suppose it's my first time stepping out of Northeast, I went for the competition. So like there are a lot of things that I had to go through, but I feel like what matters is that, you don't sell your dignity and you just stay true to yourself. And if people don't want you for who you are, and that's fine.
Right.
You don't have to change for someone else or you don't have to be another figure to fit in that. Like, some people did tell me, okay, like go there and then play your cards and all of that. But I tried and it's not me, I tried for a day or two to be someone else, to try to please them. But I feel it's not me.
Yeah.
And that doesn't even give me the satisfaction for me to be there, Yeah. And I believe that the reason I must be there is for me being me. You get it? Like being yourself.
Exactly.
And these challenges, will definitely will pull you down. There are days where I used to cry, but then, I don't want to tell my mom also because she's very like insecure or like protective. So so I don't want her to know about it, what the things that I had to go through there. But then, I had to like take care of my own self and figure out a way out for myself.
Right.
And, that's what I want to tell the other girls as well. Like, even if you're outside of the city, just be yourself. Like who you are in front of your parents, be that same person behind them also. And eventually you will find a way out.
Oh, nice.
I love that.
Like,
So if I were to correct me if I'm wrong, if I were to summarize your question and your response, it would be, are there a few bad apples in the industry? And of course, life is life. So yes, there will be a few bad apples.
Yeah, it's always like that.
Right?
Yeah.
And your go-to tip, I guess, would be, stay true to who you are, know yourself, and just know that there are bad apples. Just be aware of these bad apples. But what you bring to the table is what's going to
And you need to be really smart and clever. Yeah.
good one.
So that's
Right.
what you can't act dumb. You act dumb, you're down.
Yeah.
So act like you know everything, honey, in this world.
Snap. Snap.
Like even if you don't know it, just like act like you know and then go back home and then Google about it. I think,
Fake
rather
it.
than like acting all dumb about it, and people can really just...
Yeah, because I think people tend to take advantage, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Isn't it?
Yeah. That's so true. Being gullible, vulnerable,
Right.
like you said, act like you know.
Act like you know.
This is your week to shine. And that's a song, by the way, okay? So anyway, it's actually a song. So.
Because I was really following the
Yeah.
There's something happening.
You know what? I don't want to go home anymore. I'm just like really loving this
enjoying it.
conversation.
Yeah,
I want it to go on and go on. But I don't know if the people will be watching it like for the whole
I don't know.
how many hours now.
I think,
But I hope you guys enjoy it.
I think they will be
They will,
watching
they will,
because
they will.
what I feel now, you keep dropping these really good stuff. You know what I mean? So you feel happy being here. I feel happy being a part of it.
Yeah.
I don't know
Same
about
here.
Jones. Jones is smiling away.
You can see my...
It's
That's a smile we need on a pageant, on stage. Like,
right? I was about to say that's the effect. That's the mentorship of Irene Dkhar on Jones.
Smile.
Miss Meghalaya can do anything for you. That's the campaign.
What's that?
Can make you smile the pageant way.
Smile with what? I forgot. Okay, we're gonna text you.
There's an old song.
Okay.
No. That time we thought of keeping. We thought of keeping in the in the description. I mean, the title of the video.
Oh,
confidence in your thoughts or something.
Smile something.
A smile.
we'll figure it out. Don't worry.
Yeah. Anyway.
Replay.
Yeah. But I think that's really good. Okay, we have gone to like the darker side. Let's talk about a bit of Remember you talked about.
My God, you people can really ask.
Wow.
We were
Dissecting you all, like this.
because we really want to get to know you,
Yeah,
right?
the people.
And-
I mean, I'm excited for it though.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Because
but I'm wondering, like, where do you get all of these questions? The energy.
I think we're pulling off of your energy, isn't
Yeah.
it? Because
It is, yeah.
Because right,
True,
like
true,
there are only
so
so
true.
many questions you can ask a guest, but unless they take it further, because we've been hosting for a while, right? So you've got guests that like to keep it short and sweet and simple, and there's nothing wrong with that.
True.
But there are guests like you
Yeah, who wants
who
to stay?
are vibrant.
Okay, I'm staying over for tonight.
We're
Exchange
having
of energy.
sleepover. This
Exchange
is
of
the
energy.
Lo-Fi evening sleepover.
Yes, stay tuned to that.
All right, so there is a question that we wanted to get to, right? This would kind of wrap up
Yeah,
the conversation.
Okay.
So we want to get
I think
your.
you'll be the
Doing
better
the
candidate
honor?
to say that. Yeah, go for it.
I think we should, because we're still trying to figure out this format, right?
Chemistry.
I want to ask Jones as well to chime in whenever you want. But the idea is we want your go-to tips. Yeah.
Okay.
So we asked you earlier about your go-to tips for people who are new to the industry, and so you did share, right? So that's the basis, the premise of this outro.
Okay.
The first one. What would be your go-to tip for when you travel? Because with the title, you've got, a lot of travel engagements because you're a brand ambassador of so many, brands now. So you got to be here, be there. And you got a short time. Just visualize this. You got a short time to be in a place. What will be your go-to traveling tip to make the most out of that trip?
You mean like
Not
the
bad.
outfit that I carry and all of that? Or
Whatever. Just to make the most
yeah,
out
I would
of
definitely, anytime I have to travel, I'll definitely go to my designer, grab the outfit and then go. That's it.
All right.
Like go to, yeah.
But then your tip to make the most out of that, suppose you're in Calcutta, because
Okay.
recently you just came from Cal, right? So you had like how many days? A day or 2, 3?
I think I stayed there for like 2 days.
2 days, right? I know it was a work engagement,
Yeah.
but because you're in Cal, did you do anything there? Kind of like just do, sightseeing or stuff?
No, we tried, but then because of the shoot, so
Oh, okay.
we didn't have enough time to go in.
All right.
But I did went for a shopping mall though.
Oh, there we go.
That also I ended up because my slippers came out.
Okay.
So that's all. I thought of going out
necessity.
just for a walk and then halfway my slipper came out. So yeah.
Okay. So you're spontaneous with traveling, right? It's like
yeah.
what's in the moment.
Yeah,
All right.
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next up, your go-to tip for, say you've got to be glammed up
Yeah.
because most of the time you have to be. What's your go-to skincare tip to deal with breakouts, for instance?
I don't have a skincare routine,
No.
honestly. See, I told you that before.
Yeah,
also.
you did. I wanted
So-
you to say it again.
I don't.
I'm shocked right now.
very-
Seriously. You don't have skincare routine?
No, I don't.
Isn't it awesome?
That's what I'm
That's
saying.
natural beauty right there.
Damn.
No, like honestly, I had a lot of breakouts. I think you've seen me, after Miss Meghalaya and all of that. And then just recently, only last year, I changed my dermatologist, and with that,
Okay.
it helps me a lot. Yeah.
Okay.
Speaking of skincare, I don't really use it.
Right.
Yeah, but I will use it from now on, I guess. I do use like the niacinamide serum and all, but just like once in a while, I must say.
Okay. So then,
Yeah.
would you say the tip that you use is you keep it natural, see a doctor?
Yeah.
That's the best way to go
Exactly.
forward instead of like investing in a heavy 10 steps, 150 steps skincare
Or maybe
routine,
now that it's healing, I will try. Yeah.
right? All right. One more I have, and then you can go, right?
Okay.
Go to tip that you'd love for Irene to answer.
Okay.
So go to tip, but then, oh, wait a minute. This was actually the question that you already answered.
Okay.
You were talking about your best friend being the person who gives you the tips, right? For events. What would be a go-to tip right now that I want to ask from you?
Keep it coming.
Fashion. Not red carpets or those kind of like glam events, not pageantry. Fashion in the daily, right? Because honestly, just from the looks of your Instagram feed, you are a style icon,
Yeah.
right?
True.
So how would you elevate a look? What would be your go-to tip? An everyday look.
I keep on changing my styles. So
Okay.
I don't really know how to answer that. But I would if I really had the time and stay, be consistent with the style that I chose, it would definitely be old money fashion.
Oh, money fashion.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not bad.
And I think you've seen that I've worn a lot of pearls in my So
yeah.
that's
So
one
the
of
inspiration.
old money fashion.
Okay. Well, those are my go-to tips, questions. You got any?
I think you more or less ticked everything more or less. Oh, okay. The last thing, fitness, right?
Okay.
How do you get? Okay. I saw the smile on your face. Okay, like yes.
That was a good one. That's a good
Okay.
one.
Like okay. Like you can just see the smile of yours, like like okay.
You have.
Okay.
But please continue.
Yeah. So how do you get fit for a competition? No, come on.
Okay.
Oh, it's so bad for a pageant. Yes.
How do I get fit for pageant?
Yeah, like
I'll just be honest, okay? So now I'm going for the gym also, not that I really want. It's just that I need to gain a little bit of weight.
Yeah.
But before that, I'm like, whatever I eat also I don't gain. So I can really eat whatever I want.
Really?
Yeah.
Fast
Yeah. I
metabolism?
most probably
good
like that.
genetics.
But so
You
the
plus.
only reason I'm going to the gym now also just I want to tone my body a bit and just to gain a little bit more.
Yeah.
So that's the reason I'm going to the gym.
I mean, that's why she's the queen.
Yeah.
It's not that you got it all, but you do. You
But
got
I
it
was
all.
really chubby back then, when I was still into playing basketball and all of that. Still an athlete. I was like not bulky, of course, but healthy, so to
You
say.
chunky?
Yeah, chunky. So-
Chunky?
Fluffy.
Chunky.
No.
Chunky?
Fluffy.
Chunky fluffy. It's fluffy, but I mean, is it fluffy?
No, fluffy is like fluffy. No, how can you describe a human being fluffy?
Fluffy.
Fluffy
I
is
know
that,
there's-
no. Fluffy is that his palm thing? No.
Oh, the perm
Yeah,
look
yeah. That is
for a hair.
okay,
For
okay.
the hair of a person, I get it.
Comment down below.
Chunky.
Comment down below.
What do you want to say? Chunky, fluffy, or
Chubby.
chubby? Choose.
Chubby is the
I think fluffy is good.
Either way, they're all very polite and cute.
Yeah.
And they would, I guess, suit your personality very well. Even if you carried that, that was just more skin to love, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I just want to say, getting to know the real, raw, honest conversations, getting to hear them. Again, that's what makes you a queen. And I feel really, really happy to
that's
have
true.
heard so much from you. Thank you.
I hope I stay like this for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, don't let.
No, I mean like whatever I'll eat whatever I want, and I still
that's
stay
what
there.
you mean.
Yeah. What are you guys talking about?
you and I were on the same
I'm in the
page,
same
no?
page, and
We
she
were
was like in the same
yeah.
page. I was like, okay. I don't allow like it's like the energy thing. Right. And then you're still in the diet thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We
Because-
were on like
Yeah,
personality or
personality,
something,
yeah,
weren't
yeah.
we? So that's why I was like, I mean,
She's-
oh my god,
Okay.
Jones,
Yeah.
you can wrap it up
Okay.
with whatever you want to say.
Can I ask one more, if you don't mind, James? Just for
Go ahead.
You sing.
No, I don't. I imitate.
You don't.
No.
Okay, I'm wrong then. No, because I saw one of your Instagram photos. You were singing. That's the reason.
I was singing. Oh, that was
Yeah.
just acting.
Okay.
Yeah, just for a photo of God.
Oh damn.
Where were you going with it?
I was about to go somewhere, but
well,
now
no,
it's
no,
like,
Yeah,
okay,
and that
I'm
was
done.
like an old picture, right?
Yeah,
Quite
did
old.
my
So
research
yeah,
as well,
I was
so-
pretending.
Okay.
Do you want to hear what he wanted to ask from you?
Yeah.
What?
Do you sing?
Oh, that's it. And
Yeah,
then
that's it. And that's it only. Like it depends on what she says. If she says, "I'm a bathroom singer," it's like, okay, good for you. Then
Oh, I thought you were going to ask Irene to sing us out. You know what I mean?
I'll sing then.
No, I don't sing. I only pretend.
Anyway, just joke. But anyway, I thought, no, because I was doing my research. I was like, okay, like, it's just sing songs. Okay. So I'm just like putting like connecting the dots kind of thing. You know?
Okay.
But anyway, I think we've the conversation has been great having you here. Especially you have a busy schedule.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
it's,
Honestly.
I'm very happy that we both today also the first time, guys. When we here, we always.
And
keep
I'm
it
so
going.
happy to have you both here for the first time,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
For the first
So
time.
yeah.
So
First time.
that's what.
Lucky me.
Lucky me.
Yeah.
Lucky podcast.
Pot.
Pot.
Pot's
Oh,
good.
pot. But again, I think we don't want to ask. We don't want to be greedy and ask for too much of your time because you've been so
Yeah, it's
generous with
alright.
it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
True.
I think it's time to wrap up, right?
Yeah.
Thank you again, and I think I'm gonna leave you to kind of direct people from here.
Okay.
I'm gonna talk
okay.
with my girl in the end.
Okay.
Okay.
We have look.
Yes.
That's it. Oh, that's it. Hey guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the conversation as always, and we tried to bring as much great people as much as possible to have that more or less unfiltered conversation with different kinds of people, with different kinds of individuals and personalities as well. And Irene is one of them. So definitely give her a shout out, or give her not shout out more or less, but try to support her, especially in this journey that she'll be taking, and be there behind her. And that's one thing that's very, very important. I think I will stick to more or less the traditional side of things, more or less for once. Okay.
Yes.
So why don't you say something to the camera, whom you want to give shout out, or something that could really help them understand, whatever you want to say, about
Final thoughts.
Final thoughts. Yeah, final thoughts.
Okay, guys. Well, I just want to tell you that in life we will always face challenges. Hardships will definitely be there, but I want you to remember that if it doesn't work out now, doesn't mean that it won't work out later. It definitely will. And always remember to be yourself, no matter where you are. And yeah, I think that's it.
That's it. Wow.
Beautiful.
I have a lot, but if I continue,
It's gonna be.
Let's ask questions again. These guys start dissecting the conversation.
Be like, I can't even expand
Okay,
on that.
No, that is very serene conversation. Get it?
I get it.
So anyway, she didn't.
Serene Irene.
Serene
Irene, okay.
Okay.
But hey, we're going off tangent again. Come
Okay,
on,
I'm
come on.
sorry.
on.
Okay. Okay, guys. I hope you enjoyed the episode 6 of the podcast, and definitely do subscribe. And we're trying to hit the 10K mark this time, so please do subscribe, do follow, and also do share if you get the chance with your friends and family as well. So from me, Jones, especially our special guest, or our guest this evening, guest of honor, Irene, and also my co-host. Yeah, I would say co-host, whatever, buddies. So from all of us three, signing out. And also remember to always grab your favorite cup of coffee or your favorite cup of chai and have a good conversation with someone and enjoy. Until next time, signing out. There you go.
That was a podcast.
Yay!
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, yo.
What a guest.
Whoa.